Today we head into the Billings Canyon area right outside of Grand Junction. This promises to have some pretty fun wheeling, some narrow shelf roads, and some very technical challenges along the way. Along with that, there are some very difficult sections that are going to even sketch me out a little bit. So let's get started and get on the trail. First, we gotta stop at the Loves in Grand Junction, top off with some gas, and of course, I put in a lot of gas because I have my extra fuel tank, and we need some critical camping supplies. This was not the easiest trail to find. When I first was doing some mapping to try and get here with Gaia, it took me down alongside the river, which turned out to be private property, and I had to get myself turned around, and now we're at the Billings Canyon trailhead. This is what we want to look for, and we're going to go in and hit Tabeguache Trail to begin with, and then we're going to move over to Windmill Road, I believe. Okay, I know. Not only did I just pronounce it incorrectly, you're going to hear that mispronunciation a lot of times in this video. So I wanted to butt in during my editing, let you know that yes, now I do know, according to a ranger at the San Isabel National Forest, the correct pronunciation is not Tabeguache, it's Tabeguache. Not Tabeguache, some people say that, but he says it is Tabeguache. So every time you hear me say Tabeguache, just in your mind, hear Tabeguache. Thank you very much. Or one of the other trails there. Well, either way, we're gonna try and get down to the river and find a good campsite and hopefully not get too lost along the way. So our plan has changed a little because we weren't able to go the way we expected to. So we're starting on Tabeguache Trail, and then we're gonna make a left on a different trail called, let's see here, Billings Canyon Access Road. And we're gonna take that out, try and find the river and a good campsite. So that's where we're headed to next. I saw a sign that said Billings Road, and we got 8 miles to go to the end of it, which should put us by the river. And it's now 1 o'clock. Hopefully we can make some reasonable amount of time on here. I don't think this is gonna be too bad of a trail. And we're just gonna enjoy the scenery. this has proven to be kind of fun. It's a little more technical than I had expected. It's kind of washed out in some spots. And I really wasn't planning on doing this section until tomorrow, but hey, that's the way it goes sometimes. Let's see. Wow, some of these little climbs are pretty steep. Kind of hard to see where you're going. I'm trying to stay on what is the official trail as best I can. But we're about 2.5 miles in so far. I'm digging this landscape. Pretty cool rocks. So the question is, why am I out here doing this trail in the winter by myself? And that's a pretty good question, actually. And it's Black Friday. It's the day after Thanksgiving. Katerina has to work the next couple days because she's the manager of a large retail store. So she said, why don't you go ahead and take off for a couple days and go do, something fun. And so Lucas and I are out here gonna do some cold weather camping. And it's going to be probably pretty cold, down into the 20s, probably 25, 26, 27 degrees, something like that. And we're gonna put some gear to the test, not just in how well it works, but what's it like to actually set it up. And some of that is gonna be the walls that we have for our awning. Now, if you watched the trips I've done with Rich, where we've set up his awning and his walls, they have been an absolute lifesaver for us in bad conditions. And I'm gonna do that by myself. I've got the walls for my awning now, and we're gonna do the best we can to make the most of it. Right, Lucas? I think Lucas thinks that I'm a little crazy today, because why would we purposely go out and get into cold weather conditions? And not just cold weather, it's very likely it's gonna snow on us. So, little test of man and machine and dog, and let's see what we've got ourselves into. We're at the intersection of the Billings Canyon Jeep Trail. This is a serious, no joke, 8-9 rated trail. Definitely want to have some bigger tires and everything for this and someone else. So we're not doing that. We're going to continue on the access road and try and work our way over to the river to find a campsite for the night. But you want a challenge? That's a serious technical challenge. But for us, just time to take Lucas for a little walk and then keep going. We got about, I think, about 5 miles left, and we want to try and get there before maybe 3 o'clock so we can set up camp, because being late November, that sun's going to go down early and then it's going to get cold. We've got our first glimpses of the Gunnison River down there. and the rough canyon. Now, Trails Off-Road has this going the opposite direction, which is a little strange because you can't get to the start from any regular road. You have to go like up Windmill Road first, which we're gonna take out. So basically we'll probably be doing that in the opposite direction too. But out in the distance there, we see the city of Grand Junction. So we'll probably see some city lights tonight as we find a spot along the river. I think we have found our campsite for the night. We're right here on the river. Doesn't get much better than that. There's remnants of old fire rings here, but with the dry vegetation here, don't think we're gonna do a fire around here tonight. But somebody has a mission that he's on to go get himself in the Gunnison River. Ah, look at this. Now, if I can get camp set up, I might throw a rod in there, see if we can catch anything. I'm not sure how deep it is out there. It's pretty shallow. Oh, Lucas got himself all tied up here. Looks pretty shallow for a ways out there. So I don't know if I can cast out there far enough. But hey, maybe we'll give it a try. So we're gonna go set up camp, have some dinner, and enjoy the evening. And tomorrow, we're gonna continue on. We'll hit Windmill Road and see where that takes us. A decent stove for a change. This was actually courtesy of one of our Patreons who got sick of me taking too long to cook, I think. I think that's how it came to be with our old Ozark Trail propane stove from Walmart, like a $50 stove. This thing is awesome. It's the same stove that Rich has. So we know that this thing heats things up fast. It's 20,000 BTUs each. Really an awesome camp stove here. So I'm gonna make myself some mac and cheese with some chili in it. It's gonna be a good night. Beautiful night. Hopefully it doesn't get stupid cold, but it is supposed to get down to about 28 degrees tonight. So we'll see how things go. We've got a diesel heater ready to go inside the dirt box to try and keep us warm if it gets bad. But I am starving. I'm ready for some food. We woke up to a very, very cold 23 degrees outside. Fortunately, the heater kept us in the 55, 57 degree range, so it wasn't bad. Lucas got some breakfast. I had a burrito that Katerina sent with me and some nice hot coffee. But we want to get a great early start on the road, so it's time to head out and see what lies ahead. We made it to the windmill, and look at this view. This is definitely quite the view from up here. Yeah, very cool. Now the thermometer in the Jeep says it's 27 degrees. I'm in a t-shirt. Feels great. The sun's out. Lucas is exploring the windmill. Now this spot is pretty large. Take a look around. There's a fire ring over here. A bunch of debris, so you got to be careful driving around, like right here. You don't want to run over that. But given the size of this place, you could easily fit a good number of rigs here for a break or a camping evening here. We're going to keep going. We've got some more campsites down the road, but this has been a pretty cool start to the day. If you don't like shelf roads, may not be for you, but yeah, we're having a blast. Couldn't beat the weather. It's absolutely gorgeous. Stayed nice and warm last night. little cold this morning, getting things put back together, but we managed. Had some coffee, had a burrito, got Lucas fed, and just having a great time out here. What do you think, bud? Lucas, what do you think? Is it a good spot? Okay, let's keep going. All right, back on the trail. Well, Windmill Road may not be super technical, but just as I come over this hill, this is definitely an amazing view. Those cliffs off in the distance there, absolutely gorgeous. My only problem is I'm making way too good a time. I'm only doing like 9-10 miles an hour, but it's only about an 8-mile trail. So I'm gonna finish up pretty early and then decide, do I just want to like hang out all day or go ahead and head home? Haven't quite decided yet, but there's some campsites up ahead I want to check out, and then we can continue on Tabeguache Road and see what's up there and decide whether we want to stay another night or just head on back, because it's been a pretty fun trip so far, and well, it ain't over till it's over, so you never know what's up ahead. Well, the first campsite that is listed on Trails Off-Road is just kind of a little turnout. Definitely not anything I want to be setting up camp at, and it's literally on the road. And if yesterday is any indication, today's probably going to have a handful of side-by-sides out here, and I really don't want people stirring up dust in my camp. So we're gonna go ahead and keep going, see what else we can find, and see what's up ahead. Whoa, look at the view here. Oh, wow. That is absolutely gorgeous. And we also have a pretty steep downhill drop here. Trying to be careful of not centering on the diff. Yep, made it. Okay. And then up ahead is supposed to be the only major obstacle on the trail, and there is a bypass. So we'll see what that's all about. In fact, I think, oh yeah, look at this. Okay, we're just gonna drop into a low gear and work our way down. Whoa. That was a big dip. It was probably a little easier going down that than if we were going up it. It's not really much of a major obstacle in my opinion, but for something like this, it's not bad at all. Well, that was it for Windmill Road. Pretty fun, easy, relative. I mean, it's not for, you know, your typical Subaru, but any four-wheel drive, you know, with a little bit of ground clearance is going to be able to handle that. Like 33s, you know, and up should be fine on that. And Billings Canyon Access Road. But now we have a choice to make, and we can take Tabeguache, I think, all the way out to another highway. So we're going to continue out, see what's up ahead. If we find a good spot, well, then we'll stop. If not, well, then we won't. Because once I get on the highway, I'm only 5 hours from home, and it's only like 9:30 in the morning. So I got plenty of time to decide whether I want to hang out here for another day or whether I want to head home, since Katerina will be home from work the next 2 days, not today, but tomorrow and the next day. It'd be nice to spend some time with her and maybe get out and do something. So let's see what's up on Tabeguache. So far, the only two good, what I would consider good campsites are both right on the river. So you can get to those by taking Windmill Road all the way out to the river, and they're right there, or that Billings Canyon Access Road that I did yesterday. And when you get to the end, you'll find the campsites there. Other than that, nothing that I would really consider to be a good campsite at this point. Definitely not on Windmill Road. And now we're going to see what's on Tabeguache and see what's up ahead. One thing about Tabeguache so far is there is some crazy off-camber sections. I've had some roll angles upwards of 25 degrees. So if that freaks you out a little bit, this might not be a trail for you. But wow, definitely some steep angles going through here. And it is a bit tight. I wouldn't call it a pinstripe warning yet, but I do have to be very careful with the canopy. You know, I've got the propane tank, I've got the awning and the shower curtain up there. I don't want to damage anything. And it is a little tight for me, but for your typical, you know, Wrangler or Bronco or, you know, Tacoma or something like that, you're going to be plenty fine. It's only because I'm pretty tall that I got to be extra careful through here. Well, we may have a pinstripe warning now. This section is very tight. I don't think I'm actually getting pinstripes. I mean, I'm brushing against some soft stuff, but you definitely want to be careful through here. Well, Tabeguache is more than I expected. It's got some rock gardens that are pretty crazy. Some climbs, some ledges, lots of rocks. It has been some very, very slow going. Where Windmill Road, I was doing 12, 14 miles an hour. Here, I think my average is probably around 5. Oh, big rock. 22-degree roll. I hit a maximum of 28-degree roll a little while back. Yeah, that's a little sketchy in something like this. Oh, this is tight right here. Definitely a pinstripe warning on Tabeguache. Fortunately, right now, we're turning south. And why I say fortunately is because going north, correction. We are now turning north, which is going to be a pleasant change because heading south in the morning, the sun has been crazy in my eyes, making it really difficult to see some of the obstacles and rocks. So I've had to get out a lot, just double check things, and really pay attention. Ooh, that's 28-degree roll right there. So, show you what I'm dealing with right now. Another thing you really have to watch out for is sharp rocks on the edges that'll just slice a sidewall without thinking twice. So, a lot of good tire placement through here to get through it. Where Billings Canyon Access Road and Windmill, I would recommend for beginners. Tabeguache, not so much. Just because there's a lot of important tire placement, a lot of climbing, really tricky rocks to go over. So definitely not a beginner section. Oh, that's a big rock. And I cleared it. Whew. We've been dropping in altitude pretty good, and area looks a little more barren now, a little flatter. Maybe we'll make up some time here, hard to say, but that was some slow going through there. Now, this is definitely a trail for a short wheelbase. It would be very little problem, but with this long wheelbase, especially the height that I have, yeah, it's definitely a little slower. I mean, even Optimus, being a JL 4-door, would have done better in here. Not that Baguera did bad by any stretch, but definitely had to keep an eye on things. Make sure I don't rip off my propane tank or damage the shower curtain or the awning. Definitely tight. But look at the view now. This is kind of worth the reward, or worth the the frustration, I guess. A lot of fun though, and we still have a long way to go to get out of here. I actually did find a decent little campsite right here. Big enough for a handful of vehicles too. It's got a fire ring that's in desperate need of repair, but the trail actually is over there. So this is off away from the trail a little bit, so you don't have people just whipping through your campsite like some of the other places along the way. There really was only one other spot, and I mean, I could barely fit in there myself, so not something I'd want to stop at. This, however, would be a good spot. It's not that far from the beginning. If you started on Tabeguache, like if you were coming from the Denver area, you could come over here, stop here for the night, and then go do the other trails, which would be good. If you're heading out and you wanted to stop for the night, this would be a good spot. For me, it's only 11 o'clock right now. I want to kind of keep going, and I'm probably going to go ahead and head out since I'll probably be off this trail by noon, and I could be home by 5 o'clock, have time for dinner. So it's looking good though. This would be a great spot. So keep this in mind if you're coming out here. I just ran into one of our subscribers here on the trail in a beautiful red JK. Gorgeous thing. Probably gonna need some buffing when they're done with this trail. He was coming up the other direction, and he told me that once I start dropping down, it's gonna get tippy. Imagine that. I mean, I've seen dozens of 20+ degree rolls, some 27s, a 28. So I guess we're still in for some more fun. I'm looking forward to it. And you know, like them, if you see me on a trail, stop, say hi, talk, tell me what's going on. You know, especially if you're coming the other direction from me, tell me what I got coming up ahead so I know. It's always good meeting people on the trail. Great couple. Nice to meet you guys, and hope to see you again. I see civilization up ahead. We're still a ways out, maybe a couple miles, not a whole lot left. What a great view of the valley though. Yeah. Totally digging Tabeguache. Highly recommend it. It's just after noon, it's like 12:10, and I'm hungry. We've been on the trail for quite a while, so I think it's time to fix myself some lunch, take a little break, and yeah, I'm hungry. I'm gonna eat. On this trip, I've got, for new to me anyway, it's been out for a while, the IceCo APL 45 Pro S. And it's a great fridge, super accurate. If you haven't seen my review on it and you're looking for a fridge, it's definitely one to check out because it just holds temperature perfectly. It's accurate in my testing to about 1/2 degree. So for me, it's one of the best fridges out there right now. And yeah, I totally trust it on a trip like this. But again, time to eat. Taking a little break, buddy? Yeah, even Lucas is having a little lunch. Is that good, bud? Yes, yes, chicken and liver. Thank you, Mommy. We are almost done with Tabeguache, and she is not giving it up easily. Even here at the very end, or almost to the very end, we still have some big ledges to get down. There's been a few sections like this up ahead where you can put a little speed down, but still, it looks like a battle till the very end. This must have been the spot he was talking about when he said you drop down and it's going to get a little tippy. That's 26 degrees right there. Oof. What a trip. That was Tabeguache Road. Wow, that was way fun. And here at the beginning of the trail here, a sign that should not be taken lightly. Steep, narrow, off-camber road. Experienced 4x4 drivers only, 17 miles to Little Park Road. That is no joke. Even this last little section right there, right before the trailhead, sketchy as all hell. I have never been 28 degrees off-camber on a shelf road, going over rocks. That was nerve-wracking to say the least. But we've got the easy flate system set up, we're airing up, and we're gonna head home. It's been a great, great weekend. Didn't do all the cold weather stuff I had planned on, but just had a great time out here exploring this Grand Junction area. I've never wheeled out here. I am definitely coming back. This is a ton of fun. I've got to hook up with Dewey from Colorado Mall Crawlers and have him show me more of the area, because this is his stomping ground, and this was absolutely a blast. So I think that's going to call it for today. Now we've got about 5 hours to get home. It's about 1 o'clock, so be home in time for dinner and get a good shower and a good meal from Katerina, and it's going to be a great weekend. Thanks for sticking with me through this and enjoying the adventure with me. You know, do all the standard stuff like share, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you are into the Patreon stuff, go to patreon.com/trailtraveler, and you can find behind the scenes stuff and pictures along the way, things like that I do to help make this a good experience for everybody. Highly recommend coming out here. It was just awesome. So thanks for watching, everybody. From Lucas and myself out here this weekend, stay safe out there, and we'll see you on the trails.